You've been told to be kind, to be liked, to be remembered for your goodness. But Machiavelli would tell you the truth. Kindness is not power. Being liked is not influence, and the world forgets those who are forgettable. In this life you have two choices: be feared or be forgotten, not feared through cruelty, but through presence, through strength, through control. Because in the cold machinery of politics, business, and war, memory is reserved for the powerful. And today you'll learn the brutal formula that carves your name into history, or erases it in silence. Why do most people fail to become powerful? Because they are afraid of what comes with fear, afraid to be misunderstood, afraid to be isolated, afraid to lose approval, afraid to walk alone. But Machiavelli would ask, which would you rather lose, popularity or control? To be feared is to be free from dependence, to no longer be ruled by the reactions of the weak. But first, you must kill the guilt. Guilt for saying no. Guilt for not pleasing everyone. Guilt for enforcing boundaries. Guilt for putting power before approval. You don't owe the world comfort. You owe yourself mastery. And the moment you let go of the need to be good, you become dangerous in all the right ways. Because you are no longer a servant to perception. You become the one who shapes it. The weak go unnoticed. The agreeable are overlooked. The unthreatening are used and discarded. You believe being polite will earn you love. Being modest will earn you respect. Being soft will make you safe. But Machiavelli saw through the illusion. A man who strives to be good at all times will come to ruin among the many who are not good. The truth the world remembers. Those who assert, those who provoke, those who dominate. If you are forgettable, you are replaceable. If you are silent, you are invisible. If you do not demand space, you will be buried by those who do. You were not born to be tolerated. You were born to command. Love is emotional. It fades. It bends. It forgets. Fear is different. Fear is remembered. Fear is respected. Fear is consistent. Love is preserved by the link of obligation, but fear is preserved by the dread of punishment. People are loyal when they fear consequence. They are careful with what they fear to lose. They watch their tongue with those who do not forgive disrespect. Machiavelli taught that fear sustains authority. It creates boundaries without explanation. It reduces betrayal. It eliminates competition before it breathes. To be feared is to be taken seriously. The goal is not to terrorize. It is to create presence. A presence so undeniable that to disrespect you feels dangerous. You try to be liked. You say yes when you should say no. You laugh at jokes that offend you. You shrink your power to seem polite. Why? Because you were trained to value external validation over inner power. But the truth, being liked is a cheap win. Approval is conditional popularity disappears in crisis. The people you try to please will forget you when it's convenient. The vulgar crowd always is taken by appearances. Stop being a mirror. Be a wall. Let them project. Let them judge. Because while they seek applause, you will build empires. You don't need to be cruel. You need to be disciplined, calculated, decisive. Here is Machiavelli's approach. Set boundaries with consequence. Never allow repeat offenses. Punish disrespect immediately and visibly. Be unpredictable. Let no one assume your next move. Mystery creates tension. Control your image. Speak less than you know. Reveal only what serves your agenda. Keep emotional distance. Do not explain your every choice. The less accessible you are, the more they respect you. Eliminate softly, but completely. Remove threats quietly. End alliances that no longer serve you. To be feared is not to be hated. It is to be respected without negotiation. History does not remember those who were nice. It remembers those who shaped it. The feared, the decisive, the unshakable. Machiavelli understood that legacy is built through influence, not kindness. Julius Caesar was feared. Alexander was feared. Machiavelli himself feared and hated, yet still read 500 years later. Meanwhile, the gentle fade, the passive disappear. The good men are mourned briefly, then replaced permanently. This is not tragedy, it is reality, and the man who accepts it gains power, because the feared do not beg, they do not wait, they command, and the world, as brutal as it is, obeys them. One of the most underestimated tactics in the arsenal of the powerful is silence, not weakness, not passivity, but calculated quiet. A wise prince ought to observe some such rules, and never let himself fall into idleness in peaceful times. Machiavelli knew this. The more you speak, the more power you give away. In silence, you create mystery. You make others guess your motives. You force them to fill in the blanks with fear or respect. You eliminate the possibility of contradiction or compromise. The feared are not the loudest. They are the most controlled. They do not need to correct rumors, because rumors work in their favor. They do not need to prove their strength, because silence implies certainty. The man who talks less commands more, because in a world addicted to noise, silence becomes dominance. You will be told that fear is wrong, that it is better to be loved, that kindness is always the answer. But if Machiavelli were here today, he would ask, who do they love when you are weak, and who do they fear when you rise? This is not a game of hearts. This is a game of memory. Be feared, and they'll remember your silence. Be feared, and they'll respect your absence. Be feared, and your presence will speak when you say nothing. So ask yourself, do you want to be liked for a moment, or remembered forever?